I invite each one of the dignitaries who are present here. And I'm very happy to say that the outreach program of the committee has, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Has reached more than 3,66,775 views during the pandemic alone. What was not possible earlier was made possible during the pandemic. I just want to share an interesting training experience. During the simultaneous training throughout the country, we could log in to the tip of the country at Kanyakumari, log out, and then to 1 minute.
Yes.
For that, we could log in at Kanyakumari for a training program, then to Sikkim, log out, then to Jammu and Kashmir. All these were possible during the pandemic. So this training program was supported by many. Our strong supporter were the National Judicial Academy and the state judicial academies throughout the country. So it's my pleasure to invite the director of National Judicial Academy, Mr. Justice Amresh Pratap Sahi, for his special address.
Thank you, Aral Mozi. My Lord Dr. Justice Chanchud, Honorable Chief Justices of various High Courts, Justice Chauhan, Vice Chairperson of the E-Committee, Mr. Barun Mitra, the Secretary Law Justice, Aral Mozi and the entire team. Well, this is a day not only of celebration, but also of commitment when we have to move forward. The entire movement, which began with, if we remember, Justice Bharuka, who initiated the computerization programs throughout the country. Then, of course, the second phase being carried out under the leadership of Justice Madan Lokur. And then the silent and dreadful march of progress under the able guidance of the present chairman of the E-Committee, Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chanchud, and of course, Vice Chairperson, Justice Chauhan, and the entire team. Well, of course, it is difficult to decipher who is the ivory and who is the ebony, but nonetheless, their contributions, the team effort shown, has led the entire ICT movement, the artificial intelligence movement, to a great extent. I would definitely say being successful in its experimental stage, and I think the destiny is yet to arrive. We all have to march forward, but today's celebration of the distribution of eCertificates is now a living testimony to these achievements of milestones and hallmarks of the ICT movement initiated and which is being fostered by the E-Committee under the chairmanship of Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. We are, of course, really benefited in a sense by this pandemic period. As a matter of fact, the National Judicial Academy has been able to reach many resource persons internationally who have contributed to the various sessions at the National Judicial Academy that has witnessed stalwarts of all fields, multidimensional, whether it is ICT, whether it is law, or whether it is artificial intelligence. Participants may also take notice of this, that very recently Dr. Justice Chanchud had participated in 2 of the sessions of the National Judicial Academy, one with the Suffolk, England, where his lordship was leading the Indian team on commercial courts. And that was possible because of good connectivity and of course the ICT arrangements that were in place. The other program, that was with artificial intelligence, about artificial intelligence, where we had Professor Thomas Fuchs from the Heidelberg University, where his lordship also addressed the National Judicial Academy with all its participants. I will take only this moment, not only to congratulate the entire team of the E-Committee, but also to the state judicial academies and the various high courts that have fully cooperated in allowing this manifestation to blossom under the leadership of Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lordship. Next, I invite the Secretary, Department of Justice, Mr. Varun Mitra, to make a special address on this occasion.
Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Chief Justices of High Courts and Honorable Judges of High Courts, Shri Justice R.C. Chavan, Vice Chairperson E-Committee, Shri Justice A.P. Sahib, Director, National Judicial Academy, members of the E-Committee and other dignitaries, master trainers and other trainees, ladies and gentlemen. I feel privileged to be a part of today's function, and on behalf of the Department of Justice, I would like to congratulate the E-Committee of the Supreme Court for organizing this virtual event for digital distribution of e-certificates to master trainers. This event signifies that not only our court architecture and judicial processes are continuously and creatively adapting itself to the fast-paced digital world, but more importantly, the human quotient is also getting equipped with all necessary knowledge to comprehend these new changes and further propagate them unto others in the legal ecosystem. At the outset, I must say that the eCourts project has made rapid strides under the dynamic leadership of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Judge of the Supreme Court. Riding on the Digital India framework envisioned by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, this project has catapulted into its mature and energetic phase 2, focusing more now on providing citizen-centric services to litigants and lawyers. In recognition of these efforts, this project was conferred the Excellence in Digital Governance Award in 2020 by Government of India, and again in 2022 in the recently concluded 24th National Conference on E-Governance. The National Gold Award for 2021 was conferred on the eCourts project. Well, it needs no emphasis that sensitization and familiarization of the stakeholders with these wide-ranging court digitization initiatives is an imperative need. But apart from awareness generation, there is a need to make the stakeholders conversant with the operational modalities of the eCourts projects so that we can develop user confidence. To make this possible, the E-Committee of the Supreme Court has made constant endeavors through its myriad training programs to give exposure to eCourt services. It has also prepared training manuals, brochures, video tutorials, and other training inputs which have proved to be immensely beneficial, productive, practical, and relevant. It is also a big achievement that the training has been conducted in a number of regional languages, and today we have a rich corpus of 4,050 advocate master trainers who in turn will act like torch bearers of knowledge and demystify the ICT tools. I would like to once again record my deep appreciation on behalf of the Department of Justice to the E-Committee of the Supreme Court for conducting such a well-planned training outreach program in collaboration with the National Judicial Academy and state academies. And I fully agree with Justice Sahi that today is a day not only of celebration, but also of commitment. I congratulate all master trainers and urge them to give their feedback and appraisal so as to make room for further improvements. I would like to add here that the Department of Justice will continue to work shoulder to shoulder with the E-Committee of the Supreme Court to create a conducive environment for ease of justice, ease of living, and ease of doing business. I would now like to conclude, as I'm sure all of us are very eager to hear the erudite words and visionary thoughts of Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, on the future trajectory of e-courts related training programs. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. It's now time to acknowledge and appreciate the master trainers. It's my privilege and honor to invite Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and the chairperson of E-Committee for the digital distribution of e-certificates to the master trainers. We have a small video, Lordship.
Yes,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
We have 4 teams across the country representing all the master trainers. We all love to have each one of the master trainers, but due to paucity of time, we have 4 teams. First, we have the team from High Court of Bombay. We have the first ever High Court Judge Master Trainer, Mr. Justice Nitin Jamdar, who completed the Master Trainer 4-day program during the pandemic. Lordship is also here.
Justice Zamdar, is he here on the screen?
Yes, I am here, sir.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Justice Zamdar. Our compliments from the E-Committee. You're the first High Court judge to be trained as a master trainer. So I hope many more will follow in your footsteps and that you will inspire others to be trainers as well, master trainers. Thank you very much for all the interest that you have taken.
Thank
We
you.
also have Ravindra Loshwar, District System Administrator, District and Sessions Court, Aurangabad, who also forms the Bombay team.
Congratulations, Mr. Lothar.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have the team from High Court of Delhi, Sri Manmohan Sharma, District Judge and also the Judicial Officer Master Trainer, Sri Gaurav Sharma, Advocate Master Trainer, Sri Rajiv Kumar, District System Administrator Master Trainer.
Heartiest congratulations to Mr. Manmohan Sharma, the District Judge, to Mr. Gaurav Sharma, the Advocate Master Trainer, Mr. Naginder Benipal, the Advocate Master Trainer, and Mr. Rajiv Kumar, who is the District Systems Administrator and also Master Trainer. Heartiest congratulations. And we are grateful to you for your contribution. We are grateful to you and the...
We do our best.
We have the next team from High Court of Rajasthan, Hemant Singh, the Judicial Officer Master Trainer and also the CPC of Rajasthan, Anusham Saxena, Advocate Master Trainer, Shashank Agarwal, Advocate Master Trainer, Satya Narain, District System Administrator.
Namaskar and heartiest congratulations. The E-Committee really compliments you for having spent your time. All of you, Mr. Hemant Singh, Mr. Anshuman Saxena, Mr. Shashank Agarwal, and Mr. Satyanarayan Kaushik. We really appreciate your efforts, and I'm sure you will be able to use your training now to spread the message of the e-courts project across the state and beyond the state also.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you so much.
We next have one strong team from Northeast, from High Court of Sikkim, Mr. Karma Wachung, who is also the Registrar General, who is also the CPC and the Judicial Officer Master Trainer, Mr. Tashi, the Advocate Master Trainer, and Mr. Milan Roy, the Master Trainer among the court staff.
Heartiest congratulations, Mr. Karma Wangchuk Bhutia, who is of course the Registrar General. It's very remarkable that you have been able to spend time for learning to be a Master Trainer. Really appreciate that the Registrar General has taken the initiative. Also to Mr. Tashi Rabdin Barfungpa, who's an Advocate Master Trainer. I'm sure you will be inspiring many other young advocates like you. You're remarkably young, so you will be able to inspire other youngsters also to be a part of the movement. And Mr. Milan Rai, who is the court staff. Mr. Milan Rai, I hope you'll be also able to talk to other members of the court staff across the state.
For all other master trainers, we'll be sending the certificates to the High Court from where it will be distributed. I now invite the chairperson of the E-Committee for the keynote address.
I'll try and be as brief as possible, consistent with the ethos of this program. Honorable Chief Justices of the High Courts, judges of the High Courts who have joined in, particularly from the computer committees. I'm seeing all of you on the screen. And I thank you for spending time for us this evening. Justice A.P. Shahi, Director of the National Judicial Academy, my very distinguished colleague on the E-Committee, Justice R.C. Savan, Mr. Barun Mitra, the Secretary, Department of Justice, and all the members of the E-Committee who are present here and invitees. With the sudden onset of the pandemic, our judiciary answered the call of the pandemic with its digital infrastructure created through the e-courts project. The courts immediately shifted to the digital space through video conferencing hearings, e-filing, e-payments, and virtual courts, to name a few initiatives. A serious need was felt to take advocates on board, as there existed a great digital divide and a great amount of digital illiteracy. It all actually started in the meeting of the E-Committee, which was held on 3rd July 2020. Shri K.K. Venugopal, the Learned Attorney General for India, suggested the need for imparting training for advocates on basic digital usage and the e-court services. Based on the suggestion of the Doyen of the Indian Bar, as Shri K.K. Venugopal is, the E-Committee passionately formulated a special drive, an ICT awareness program for advocates and advocates clerks, which was the first of its kind. And I must compliment our member human resources, Ms. Arun Mori, who has done this work with a tremendous amount of inspiration and dedication. Two significant steps were taken by the E-Committee. First, creating advocate master trainers for the Taluk, district and state bar associations across India. And second, creating awareness programs for advocates and advocate clerks in the regional languages across India. Because we do believe in the E-Committee that our mission would not be complete unless we get these important stakeholders on board. Very often it was assumed that the work of the E-Committee would be in the realm of hardware and software. But we have gone beyond. I think it's important for us to develop soft skills as well. And there are two critical components of the e-courts project. One of them is training, and the second is a knowledge component. And we are working simultaneously on both. We have 4,050 advocate master trainers. The E-Committee has identified the technically qualified advocate master trainers. 4,050 advocates were nominated from the bar associations across the country, representing the taluk level, district level, and state level bar associations. They were trained in 96 training groups in 5 zones, with an average of about 50 to 55 advocates per training group. The training to the advocates was imparted by 461 judicial officer master trainers of the E-Committee. The E-Committee has enriched its technical human resources with these 4,000 master trainers who represent every taluk, district and state level bar association. They have become an ICT help desk for their bar associations. These master trainers will impart basic computer related training to other advocates. Our advocates awareness programs in regional languages initially had a reach of 221,703 views, and which has now crossed much more. As part of the special drive initiative of the E-Committee, the advocates and advocate clerk awareness programs in the regional languages were conducted throughout the country. As of 31st December 2021, the E-Committee outreach programs for advocates and advocate clerks reached 221,703. The YouTube links of the statewide advocate awareness programs is uploaded on the E-Committee website. I want to spend just 30 seconds in emphasizing how important it is for us to train the clerks of the advocates. Advocates, yes, but particularly the clerks of the advocates. I've received recently representations from across the country, including from my own parent High Court, the Bombay High Court, because there's a feeling on the part of advocates clerks that with this march of technology, will the march of technology render them obsolescent? Now, as we know, the advocates' clerks depend upon the court system for earning their livelihood. This is really a humanitarian issue at stake. And I do believe that it is important that we help them develop alternative skills, supplementary skills, new skills, so that they can become able contributors in the e-courts project, that they can continue to do what they are doing and perhaps improve their productivity and revenue generating capacity also. Because unless we get the advocates clerks on board as much as the advocates, I do believe that we will come up against a roadblock. The electronic case management tools for advocates were covered in the advocate training programs. Now, broadly speaking, our advocate training programs cover how to get the e-court services 24/7. Simple questions like that. How do you get causeless judgments, orders, and case status? How does one get SMSs and emails on court listing? How does one download and use e-court services mobile apps for advocates? How do you get the case status or causeless orders on the mobile app? The My Cases option for digital case management through the mobile app. Export and import, the backup option of the mobile app. The QR scan option and its utility for advocates. Know the service delivery in the court complexes, such as e-seva kendras, kiosks, digital display boards. Know the e-services, online certified copies, e-filing, virtual courts, payment of online fine, e-payment portals of the court fee, fines, civil deposits, and the national service and tracking of electronic processes. So the importance of these initiatives is that with the able assistance of the Department of Justice of the Government of India and the Supreme Court, the E-Committee has put into place various features which are being developed ably by the NIC for us, particularly with the assistance of Mr. Ashish Shiradhonkar. Now, the point of the matter is that we cannot just create these facilities. We have to now propagate these facilities, make lawyers understand how simple these facilities are to use, and then make them an integral part of their lives. Other topics which received much appreciation in the course of our trainings are how to appear in video conferencing. Very simple. I mean, we have to make sure that lawyers know how to appear in video conferencing, how to scan the document and make PDF files, making accessible PDFs, uploading documents, sharing documents in the court. Must know e-court websites, which are the important websites for the e-courts project, the e-committee website, the National Judicial Data Grid, e-court services websites, the district court websites, which are now going to be migrated on the SUAS platform. The next aspect of our training has been to reach out to chief justices, high court judges, and district judges through the National Judicial Academy. And I would like to acknowledge and thank Justice A.P. Shahi, my very distinguished colleague from the Allahabad High Court, and I shared the bench with him, for all the efforts which the NJ has put in. We have held an ICT workshop for the Chief Justices. The E-Committee conducted an exclusive ICT enablement workshop for the Chief Justices of all the High Courts through the NJ. And we had a day-long session with all Chief Justices across India. Special e-court sessions through the NJ for High Court judges and district judges. The E-Committee has reached out to the High Court judges and district court judges through special programs of the e-courts projects at the NJA. We have held a workshop on NJDG as a court and case management tool. This was held for High Court judges and was conducted at Madhya Pradesh High Court, the Patna High Court, Allahabad High Court, and the Odisha High Court. The next element which I want to briefly stress upon is training for the court staff. We have launched upon a nationwide court staff training program, and as of date, 70,349 members of the court staff across India have been trained. Under the E-Committee module, we train one staff member from each court of the district judiciary throughout the country. As a result, as I said, 70,349 staff members were trained through the in-house district system administrators. So the DSAs have acted as trainers for this purpose. Our other training programs include a workshop on cyber crimes and electronic evidence. 99 cybercrime master trainers, judicial officers, have been specially trained and certified by the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy at Hyderabad. Recently, a 3-day online course on cybercrimes and digital evidence was held in coordination with the Academy. Our statistics as of date on online awareness and training programs indicates that 3.67 lakh people have been reached during the pandemic between May 2020 and December 2021. The E-Committee has conducted 117 training and awareness programs covering advocates, advocate clerks, master trainers amongst advocates, high court judges, district judges, judges of the district judiciary, court staff, master trainers among judges, master trainers among staff, technical staff of the High Court and law students. I think the next step, which is very crucial, is to now start training law students in the law colleges, because we must impart digital programs and training in digital literacy to the law students so that they become comfortable with the use of technology. Today we are holding out the digital certificates with the QR code for the master trainers, a total of 4,866 master trainers who will be receiving their certificates. The training program of the E-Committee during the pandemic were made possible by the strong contingent of master trainer judicial officers, the DSAs, and advocates. The E-Committee recounts the pro bono contribution of each of the master trainers on record with pride. We also had one High Court judge master trainer, Justice Nitin Zamdar of the Bombay High Court, who completed the 4-day master trainer course. I must compliment Justice Zamdar because it was not that we requested Justice Zamdar. He happened to be involved in some of these programs and said, well, I want to be trained to fully understand the ramifications of the e-courts project. And now, of course, he has taken upon himself the mantle of carrying the message across as a master trainer. The E-Committee is issuing digital certificates with the QR code as a token of appreciation for the master trainers among High Court judges, one of them, 4,050 advocates, 394 judicial officers, and 421 staff members. We will share the links for the digital certificates with the High Courts. Using the links, the master trainers can download the certificates. We have developed training manuals, brochures, and video tutorials in regional languages. A manual on the eCourt Services mobile app is available in 14 regional languages, namely English, Hindi, Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, Khasi, Malayalam, Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Tamil, and Telugu. We have a step-by-step guide for e-filing, which is written in English and has been translated into 10 regional languages, namely Assamese, Bengali, Hindi, Nepali, Mizo, Odia, Punjabi, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. 12 e-filing tutorials have been developed in 7 regional languages. Brochures on advocate registration and the e-filing have been prepared in 14 regional languages. A brochure on e-Seva Kendras, e-payments was also prepared in English. Just the other day, Mr. Ashish Shiradhonkar, our very able ally in the E-Committee, sent me a very interesting statistic. And he said, since the launch of the e-filing 3.0 version on 1st January 2022 in the district courts of Kerala, 14,807 advocates registered, 9,246 cases were filed, 86,340 documents were uploaded, and 1,088 oaths were recorded over the video. So I just saw Justice Mohammad Mushtaq and his Chief Justice Mani Kumar here present a short while ago. And I thank the Chief Justice as well as Justice Mushtaq, and I'm sure Justice Raja Vijayaraghavan is also here from the Kerala High Court, our able allies in the work of the E-Committee. Our future plans. We have a special drive outreach calendar for 2022. In 2022, outreach programs aim to cover 10 categories of stakeholders, including public litigants, law students through the law schools, advocates, advocate clerks, police officials, and prison authorities. And I do look forward particularly to the collaboration of the students with the prison authorities and the prisons, because that is really the area which is the weak link in the legal system in our country. We are developing a special program for visually challenged court staff and judicial officers. that I think is very critical to our accessibility initiative in the E-Committee. We are developing a special outreach program for marginalized sections, women, LGBTQ plus people with disability. Justice Maushami Bhattacharya of the Calcutta High Court has been preparing very comprehensively a module on the marginalized segments of society and how we can use technology and the knowledge component of the e-courts project to facilitate this particular initiative. We are creating video tutorials. We are creating help video tutorials in regional languages for all stakeholders. On a pilot basis, 3 state judicial academies, namely Delhi, Orissa, and Maharashtra, are coordinating with the E-Committee. It has been proposed to have outreach programs closely coordinated with the NJA and the SJAs. I will soon be writing to all the high courts with the E-Committee calendar of 2022. I request all high courts to inject at least 2 e-court programs per month in their training programs through the state judicial academies to accelerate the ICT awareness and digital capacity building. We are conscious of the regular calendar of each academy. The training may be shifted from the conventional model. Instead, it can be held in a 30 to 45-minute session during the working days so as to bring about minimum dislocation in the conventional training programs. So all in all, we hope that these special drive outreach programs of the E-Committee will accelerate to achieve 100% digital literacy amongst all the stakeholders. With this, I conclude my presentation this evening. I thank each one of the master trainers who are present here today for having contributed their time and for having become a part of this initiative. And now I know that the baton has been passed on to you so that you can really push the initiative further. As I conclude on the screen, I see Chief Justice Pankaj Mittal of the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court here. And I'm sure that Justice Mittal will also carry out the initiative by training and having more trainers in the judiciary. Definitely. Sides. All the other Chief Justices, thank you very much for being here. All the judges, all the master trainers, and all the invitees. Mr. Barun Mitra, thank you very much for your help and for the help which is rendered by your team at the Department of Justice. We deeply value your support, your initiative, and your guidance. And Justice Savan, thank you very much for being such an able ally and a senior brother for me in the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship. It's now time to thank one and all. I invite the Vice Chairperson, E-Committee, Supreme Court of India, Justice R.C. Chavan, for the vote of thanks.
Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chairperson of the E-Committee, who has transformed E-Court project into, Justice Sahi was saying about movement, he has transformed it into a mass movement involving every stakeholder so that their mindsets are changed rather than there is providing hardware, as Justice Chandrachud said. Honorable Chief Justices of High Courts, who have given a big push to the program by ensuring active participation of their judicial academies. Honorable Chief Justice Sahi, our ally in the National Judicial Academy, who has given us a platform to show our programs through the judicial academies. Shri Barun Mitra, Secretary, Department of Justice, without whose support nothing was possible. He has been helpful to us, helping us in all possible ways. Honorable chairpersons and members of the computer committees of the High Courts and all master trainers and my colleagues in the E-Committee. Honorable Chief Justice and the chairpersons of the computer committees have joined this program virtually after a hectic day in their courts. Just as Justice Chandrachud has also completed his work in the court and immediately spare time for this program. I thank all of them for their presence here. Their presence amongst us today testifies the involvement and will to boost the energies of master trainers from their various states. Master trainers will definitely feel encouraged by the presence of Chief Justices at this function. We thank you all for this noble gesture. My heartfelt thanks to Justice Sai and Shri Varun Mitra for sharing their illuminating thoughts, which will enable us to add momentum to this movement. Thank you, sir. My chairperson, Dr. Justice Chandrachud, has always told us that we have to work hard. And just as he made himself available today after a hectic day in the court, he has also, by personal example, been motivating us and inspiring us. And also, just as timely appreciation, he appreciates the work at proper times. He also gives us timely reminders when we lag behind. And this push, this timely reminder also helps us to ensure that the targets are not missed. Thank you all for being here. Last not but the least, all the master trainers who have received their training and their principal, Ms. Arul Mori, who has trained, who has taken it upon herself to ensure that every stakeholder in the system is properly trained. Thanks to my colleagues in the e-committee. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lordship. Lordship, with your permission, can we end the program?
End the program. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.